So, you think the old softball coach will answer his phone?
You have, I say this all the time, but you have a better chance of Jesus coming down off the cross before he answers the phone call from you.
Yeah, Jesus is going to cannonball into the pool behind us.
Here I come. Listen. Not gonna. I sent the text forewarning him. I'm like, pal, about a half hour. I'm calling you.
But he's about to coach.
It's the night before a state final.
The biggest game.
He's
of
got
his
the girls.
career.
And he's got his whole staff and
It's
team.
almost 9 o'clock. They gotta be vacating. So come on. You
Up
know?
at his house for dinner.
You know what I mean? Here's my logic, right? I'm just trying to help him out. He's been having to deal with
The serious media.
The serious media. I mean, to put again after what Coach Schultz said, or after what Schultz said, he was up at 2 a.m.
Pierce isn't sleeping tonight.
Like Sunday
no
night.
way.
So
he's
thinking of all scenarios.
So pal, what better thing to do?
Boar's already sleeping.
Boar's been sleeping since 7 o'clock. Boar was sleeping on the fire truck.
Boar's probably sleeping during the game somehow. What are you talking about? They had to wake him up, tell him to go coach the first baseline.
Dude, can you imagine the guy from Central Columbia, the first base coach, made that snag on the line drive? Boar would have took that one right off the face. Like
Right in the chest.
I asked him after the
Right
game,
off
I'm like,
that boar belly.
how come you didn't make a catch like that? He goes, I didn't have the opportunity. I'm like, you wouldn't have made that catch. No shot. No shot. But I mean,
man.
what better way to put your mind at ease before
Didn't talk about the game more.
before
Chooping
the
it up.
biggest game of your life? But just to come on here. But we don't have to talk about the so Mike, what do you think about the NBA playoffs, man?
I'm sure he's watched a lot of basketball these last couple of weeks.
You know
Mike,
what I mean?
can you tell us the score of the Nets game? Nets Bucks.
You got a TV handy? We're staring at some trees in Tom's backyard here.
So you're going to try to call him?
I don't know. I don't want to. Should I?
You put a lot of pressure on him, I guess.
I did. Listen,
I thought
This
he was
could be a
confirmed.
hefty wager here. Does he answer his phone?
What's the over-under?
That was the other thing. You guys are doing live odds on a high school softball game. What's the matter with you three?
What?
You guys were doing live odds.
It's 240.
Huh? Yeah. You're like, it's minus 480 that she's going to swing at this first pitch.
But
I'm like, what?
But
these guys are these guys are sponsored by DraftKings now all of a sudden.
yeah, listen, gambling's legal in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if it's legal on high school sports, but in Pennsylvania, legal.
Sean
We'll
might
get
have
it
had
there.
about $1,000 on that game.
We'll get it there. We'll get it there.
I probably lost the grand.
I'm just saying.
That was awesome.
I sent a formal request out, as most media members would. You know what I mean?
Most.
I wasn't trying to take a dig at anyone. I feel like you you took it that way.
Yep, you were opening a wound.
And I mean, he said accepted.
I felt like he just was being nice. But
I say a lot of things to do others.
I mean, you're still here 17 episodes later, pal.
It's true. I'm the talent of this show.
I would definitely. You're the beauty of the show too.
Exactly.
Did we ever get our commercial played on the Facebook page? I don't think we did. I thought you were going to be able to pull that one through on G&M.
I got to check and see if she even sent it over to him.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
That was a great commercial. I felt like
You're really
what?
Pushing off calling him. I think you're nervous.
Yeah, he's
I might be. What if he calls me and like?
It's not going to be the first person that hit the FU button on you.
That's true. And
It definitely won't be the last.
then I'm going to be like, that SOB big timed us again.
Again. What was the first time?
When he didn't come to get interviewed after Schultz. He really broke Schultz's heart. Like Schultz was looking forward. Yeah.
Again, Schultz became
Schultz
the biggest.
that was the only part I caught when I got back there. You guys were in the tent interviewing Miranda. Schultz asked like 4 questions, and it was like, and now I'll let Hooper and Matt ask a question here.
What the hell, bro? Like, what am I supposed to ask her now? You just took all the time.
He sounded like he was
He was prepping. He prepped those questions.
he was cross-examining her.
He was so excited. He's like, wait, I got one more. He's like, all right, my bad.
He's like, all right, you guys got anything to ask her? It's your turn. Like, thanks, pal. Thanks.
You just asked her
Yes.
everything I wanted to. Thanks, bud. I don't know what else to talk about. How was your day? What did you eat for dinner?
What was the pregame meal? A little fruit? What do we got here?
Like,
What do you?
What's the secret?
What do you eat pregame to hum like that on the mound? All right. Well,
You're really trying?
Play the ringtone.
huh?
Play the rings.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Play the
You
ringtone.
got to add the drama to it.
Yeah, I wanna hear
The
it.
rings. All right.
And then we're gonna hear his voicemail.
We're gonna do it. Screw it.
Here we go.
Here we go. Odds. You got odds? What's the odds? Over under he answers.
I say he doesn't answer.
Minus
What?
700.
Minus 700.
Doesn't answer.
It's 950 at this point.
Even if he just
If it
hops
gets-
on and be like, guys.
If it gets to one more
Guys.
ring, it's minus 1,000. There it is.
Oh.
No.
No way. No way. Yo, the odds on you answering were minus 1,000 here, bud. Minus 1,000.
This is unbelievable.
How did you answer the phone?
Tom is really let down that you answered.
Why did you answer the phone? Is a better question.
Well, I got a lot of hate mail and hate emails for not making the set after the North Schuylkill game. And, I was just worried about my family and myself, and I just figured if I took the call, it'd be best for everybody.
Joining the show now for we're not sure how long. Coach of the Mid-Valley Spartanettes softball team, state championship bound, Michael Piercy.
Pierce,
Just great. Just great to be here, guys. I'm a big fan. I've been, trying to do notable things over the last few years to get on this podcast, and I've been striking out left and right, and I finally, we got this done, and I was just real excited to get the invite.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not asking you one damn question because I've talked to you too much in the last 2-3 weeks.
That's understandable. That's fair, Tom. I agree with that one there.
Pierce, I just got one question for you. Did you guys serve beef sticks and cupcakes at the team dinner tonight?
We did not. We did not. But if you would like me to get into that story for the Choop crowd, I would be happy to.
You can absolutely get into that
All right.
story.
I want to hear it.
All right. I mean, I really don't want to go on record with this. All right, I guess I will. So I was Matt's weightlifting coach, Matt Tanner, 5'9", 140. Matt Tanner. Yeah, I was in charge of his strength and coach. And,
So was this pre or post ACL tears?
Pre.
Oh, so your fault. Great job, Mike. Great job, Pierce.
Wow, I never thought of it. Nah, yeah, okay, never thought about that. Yeah, it was pre.
So at that point, he had the stature of Hooper.
Yes.
Yes,
All
yes.
Great.
So, Matt he wanted to put on size in between seasons. It was, I think, after his sophomore or junior year. He was, I don't know, what were you, 105, maybe 110. He was looking to get up.
120 like weddings soaking
Yeah,
wet.
he was trying to get up a couple pounds, and he would work pretty hard in the weight room, to be honest. And we weren't really getting why he wasn't putting on any weight. So after one workout, we went to teppanyaki. We worked him hard. He's squatting, deadlifting, benching, and it was time to refuel the machine. And so we go and we get a whole plate of sushi. We're at the hibachi bar, putting all sorts of meat on there, and we come back to the table, and Matt has one beef stick and a cupcake. And this was his post-workout meal. And we're just looking at him and like, Matt, this is really what you're eating there.
And you're able to eat anything in the place.
Anything in the place. And I think I might have even paid for them. And I think I was more upset that I wasted $8 on that beef stick and cupcake.
He honestly looked over at me. He's like, "This is all you're gonna eat?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good to go." He's like, "We have a problem.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
a big problem."
At that point where you're like, it makes sense why you're $120. I got
Yeah,
you.
we pinpointed the problem there. But in his defense,
right then
he
and there.
did get a scoop of ice. He did get a scoop of ice cream at the end. In his
Good.
defense.
Good.
So,
Always gotta get ice cream.
Good.
Wow. How'd the parade go?
Yeah, how was the parade?
yeah, I'll tell you that was awesome. We had a trolley, which really made it awesome, and the kids were really set on throwing candy at the children as they drove by. So we may have dinged a couple cars here and there, but we had a police officer behind us watching, making sure everybody was in line. But in all honesty, the community support there, I'll tell you, it was insane. there was an Oliphant Days going on, so there was like a live band. I'm not sure if I didn't have the heart to let the kids know that wasn't for us. That was just Oliphant Days going on, but it did add to everything. It made everything a lot cooler.
You guys are at the point right now you could have thrown rocks off that trolley and they'd be cheering for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the community support over the last week, wow, that's one pretty awesome thing about living in a small town. It's been nonstop every day, so pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah, man. Congrats.
Yeah. I saw some posts, some teams from other teams in the league in the area wishing you good luck, via social media and stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool when you make a run, and usually you might not get along great with everybody during the year, but District 2 sticks together, and we actually stopped practice at a point today to follow the Tunkhannock tweets. I don't know if you guys were following that, but they were down 4-1 in the 7th. They scored 3 runs to tie it in the 4th.
Wow.
And they ended up losing in 9 innings, but we were supporting those guys big time, another District 2 team, so it's pretty cool. Everybody comes together there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I might have gotten a text message by pretty much every athletic director I know.
Yeah.
Saying congratulations.
Congratulations and good luck,
Yeah, that's awesome that you see everybody come together like that there, though.
Yeah.
Now, Pierce, you've coached a lot of sports in your life. Do you think those experiences have kind of built you into the coach you are today, and how it kind of brought you through?
Yeah, man. I think you get better every year. You got to learn how to relate to kids, and I'll tell you, it's a lot. It's different coaching boys than girls.
Right.
It's the same. It's the same, and it's different. You definitely. I don't think it's effective to go in there with when I coached football, we're yelling and screaming at kids in their face, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
It's and I think when we started with softball, we kind of tried to do like the, military atmosphere and we're big on, right now just forming relationships with the kids and, pushing them and making them the best they could be. But I think it's about, them knowing you care about them,
right,
and forming positive relationships, and then they respond with, giving you their all. And we got a group this year that, they work really hard every day, and they're just a pretty special group, obviously.
Right.
What do you say is the biggest difference between coaching boys and coaching girls?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't want to say it's easier, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot, just in my experience. How do I want to word it? That's a good question there. I feel like girls, that they want to please you. You
Right.
ask them to do something, they work hard. They want the satisfaction of saying, "Hey, I did this. This is what coach wants me to do." And I don't know. I feel like, and maybe we've just been lucky to have really good groups, but they're focused. There's not a lot of messing around when you're practicing, and they're all business. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing. We don't run into a lot of riffraff and issues outside the field and things like that. They're, generally really good kids who, want to please the staff and work hard.
Yeah, I think too, and I'm not joking when I say this. I really think the girls are tougher than the guys. Tougher physically, tougher mentally. A lot of times, especially when you're talking, like, if you were going to take a comparable baseball team to what or equivalent to what we have right now on the softball field, where it's just pound for pound. I think they're just it's flat out tougher.
Yeah, I mean, these kids are, they're warriors. They really are. Like, they're never injured. They're never coming out of the game. They get banged up. They're out for a second. They're back in. I got to make them come see you, Tom, and stuff.
Right.
Like, they're like, "Nah, I'm fine." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, you're going to get treatment. You're going to get this wrapped."
Right. Yeah.
So, I would agree that, there's a toughness factor there. And again, maybe we've just been lucky to have these type of kids, but definitely there's been very little issues, in the last, 5, 6, 7 years with these kids.
I've always said, and naturally on the boys' side, it's more apparent with football right? But the less activity in my room, the more wins, and the more successful you are. And
Right.
and it's exactly what he said here. Like they won't come see me
Because they
playing
want
in
to
a
stay.
state final. You know, if we're an 0
Yeah.
and 20 softball team, my room's loaded with girls.
Right.
You know, every day.
Yeah, and yeah, they don't want to miss. They don't want to be out of practice, you know. And I don't know. I think it took years to get there too, just to have that expectation. You know,
Go
year
out there and
one
expect
wasn't
to
like
win,
this
right?
year.
Right.
You know, year one for us, it was nothing like this. You know, those kids, they still text me and call me, and I actually saw one of them walking into the district semifinal, and they're like, "Geez, we should have listened to you guys from the beginning." You know, they gave us a run for our money there. They were, you know, I think no matter what sport it is, it takes a couple of years to really leave your imprint there and get
Right.
things
Yeah.
running the way you want.
Build that
And
culture.
That's
yeah,
that's going to be my question, because when I was a younger coach first starting, that was a big thing that you would always talk about, like how tough it was early on for you to kind of build the culture. And when I first came in, softball was starting to get you were already pretty successful at that point. So what was the toughest those first couple of years when you took over the program of just kind of building that culture? What was the toughest thing that you found to get to this point?
yeah, and like you said, I mean, I think your answer was in the question there, just building the culture. So, you know, when we first took over, I remember I had a kid who worked every Friday, and they would miss the practice or the game on Friday, and one kid had dance on Wednesdays, and just you know, it wasn't you know, obviously that wasn't going to fly. So it took a couple of years to be like, this is a 6 day a week commitment, and you know, it's this way. If you want to be a part of this, you have to do things this way. And then when you get there, you know, to work with the intensity and the toughness that we're looking for, that doesn't come overnight. And you know, we were just going back because we had to get like some information together of like the year by year records and things like that. And I was looking, and I think we were 27 and 40 in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
There's something around that. And I tell everyone, I wouldn't trade that for anything. You know what I mean? We
Right.
remember what it was like going out there getting 10 run ruled every day,
Right.
and it just you know, I wouldn't trade that for anything. Just going through those hard times, and you know, we talk about that with the kids now, and you know, luckily over the last 5 years, I mean, it was a total different story, and obviously we have some great kids coming in. You know, I don't care what kind of culture you create or what you have. If you don't have good athletes, you know,
Absolutely.
you need the talent to win games. That's a no doubter, and we've been really lucky on that front for the last 5 years to just have some really good kids.
Yeah, that's the thing I think I think about a lot is without those, like you said, that record there in the first 5 years, without that team, you know. Now again, like you said, you have some talented, really talented kids right now, but all said and done, without those teams and those rocky times before, you know, you don't know if you get to this point, you know, that where you can continually set the bar higher and higher. You know, if that kind of makes sense.
100%, and I would totally agree with you, because you know, were just you know, the first year it was 4-11, and then we just wanted to get better, and it was just you got hungry, you know,
Right.
because we really felt that we were doing things better than the teams that were beating us. You know, like our kids were more prepared. They were, but you know, we just, you know, we couldn't put it all together. We didn't have, you know, the most talented groups back then, but like we became kind of possessed and motivated. You know, we got in summer leagues, we got in fall leagues, but yeah, I feel like those rocky and tough times, they kind of motivated us and got us going to where we were. And you know, the big thing I remember, it was I think it was 2014 or 15. We lost to Redeemer 8-6
Yeah.
in the semis, and we had the bases loaded.
Yeah.
And it was like a questionable call, strike three, and we lost 8-6. They go on to win the state championship, and we're like, wow, we might be close here. You know,
Right.
we played this team 8-6. They went on and won a state title.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, we really got to ramp this up and do whatever we could because we're a lot closer than we think. We had no clue what state competition looked like, but we played a game where we felt we should have won, and then that team goes and wins the state title. And I remember telling the kids, like, guys, we're close. Like, this is it. It's our turn. Our time's coming. And yeah, I mean, since then we, had the right kids who put the work in, and we, did some good things, and now have a chance to, get the big one here.
Now, Pierce, you kind of talked about that hunger. You said you built that culture. How do you keep kids hungry? Like when they kind of, it's not sad to say, but sometimes you just know as a player when you're better than a team. I knew as a player, like I'm walking into a basketball, football game, we're gonna win it. How do you keep that hunger going for those girls?
Yeah, and for us, we always talk about winning the state title, and we never got there. So it was kind of, I don't want to say it was easy, but we never reached the pinnacle. So,
Okay.
I mean, that was always our goal. Obviously, we want to win the league and district, but we think, if we're going to win a state title, we have to go through the league and district first. But that's always been our goal. But, to be honest, Matt, this year was different. Like, in the years past, we had to kind of even knock the kids down a little bit, like, hey, we're not all that. We still got to play.
Right,
'Cause
exactly.
We had some talented
Nothing's
kids.
going to get handed to you.
Yeah, and this year was like the opposite. We have 5 kids starting who never played a varsity game before because of the COVID year,
Right.
So
Right, exactly.
our freshmen and sophomores, so our goal this year, like we just kept telling the kids, guys, you could win a state title. Like you guys have no clue. You've never played a varsity game, so you just got to believe us here. But you're that talented.
Right.
So this year was more of
Building them up.
we just built them up and just kind of kept hitting them with, you guys are special. You guys are special. You don't see it yet, but trust me, this is a special group. And that was our approach this year.
Okay.
So I mean, this team and I think once they started winning some games, it started to click a little bit. Geez, maybe we are pretty good. And so yeah, that was our approach this year. And it's funny, every team's different and they need different things, but that was kind of our approach this year.
Okay.
Pierce, I'm going to give you a second to shout out your coaching staff. I feel like you have probably one of the best coaching staffs, in Mid-Valley Athletics, just because every time I'm at one of your practices or whatever, if I'm at the school, when we're practicing, like your coaches will go to their practices, and if they have time, they're at your varsity practice. Like they're all in, it seems like. So go ahead and shout out your coaching staff and the importance of them helping you out to kind of get to where you are, where the team is.
Yeah, it's so hard with high school sports and the way the schedules work. 50% of the people are eliminated right there because scheduling reasons. So, it's hard to get good people who could meet the hours. But like you said, we're so lucky. And anybody who's into coaching knows, it's not about the money. If you do it right, you're making very little for the hours you put in. And, so 2 of them, Joe Bohr and Don Nowakowski, they've been in it. This is with the whole time. We started together, and they're people. Some coaching staffs they work from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. We take a week or 2 off, and then we do a summer ball, and then we start our fall ball, and then our winter weights, and then our preseason workouts, and they're 2 people for the last 10 years who who get there. And so yeah, they're two of the original ones there. We have Dennis Harishnak, and he was actually Tom helped me out big time with this one. We were trying to fill a spot, and we're like, geez, we were really scratching our head. I tried a couple people.
Yep.
Yeah, we tried a couple people, and I'm thinking, geez, this person said no, this person said no. And I remember talking to Tom, and he mentioned, Dennis is here, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's a great baseball guy. I played college baseball with Dennis. And so he hopped on board, and he's a huge asset. He's awesome. We have Kyle Lukowski. He's there running the junior high program, and he was in it for, I think it's 8 years. He started with us. He missed a year or 2 when he had a few kids there, so he had to take a little bit off. It's it's tough getting permission at home
Those darn
sometimes.
kids always getting in the way.
And then Sarah Ross is actually our newest
Shout out
coach.
cousin, my cousin right there.
Cousin, and she's solid. And I mean, this year she was the assistant junior high coach and made every varsity game as well. So she did double sessions like 3 or 4 days a week. So just finding people with that kind of commitment, that of those people right there, is really special. And our kids, they know how lucky they are, and I know how lucky I am to have people like that.
Here's the $1 million question I have for you, since Hooper brought up and we were talking about your staff. how so we've had, we talked earlier before we called you, we had the 12-0 game at Loyal Sock, right? So it was it was loose and an enjoyable win down there. Then we have a pair of one-run games, right? High intensity games. How in God's name do you stay serious when you have to look across the field and Joe Bohr is coaching first base?
Yeah. No, that's a good question. And I mean, we actually had a team party tonight, and Joe broke $75 worth of tables. He was jumping off things and giving RKOs.
Is he sleeping?
So, yeah.
So, no, yeah. I mean, Joe is a special animal right there. I'll tell you that right now. Anyone who knows Joe Bohr, I yell at Joe frequently, but I love Joe like a brother. But no, he's the best. But I mean, as long as we keep Steve Galley away from our practices, what Steve brings out the worst in Joe. So if I keep Steve away from Joe, he's generally on pretty good behavior.
So Steve is not allowed in State College tomorrow.
No, so Steve actually asked to be on an assistant coach several times, and I love Steve, but I knew what would happen if Steve and Joe got together. We would have totally lost control, and we'd be having a different conversation now. Yeah,
Steve would be giving him pedigrees on home plate.
Yeah. So he's banned from the premises when we're practicing. Steve is. So
is Joe Bohr currently sleeping?
Joe Bohr was here at my house tonight. He had his wife. Joe's a new man now, and his child.
Yeah.
So he was on best behavior. So also when Sherry's around, Joe really steps his behavior up. So
good.
But yeah, he's been good. And I also want to make note, we had some far bus rides, and Joe has fell asleep 0 times on the bus this year.
No way.
Wow.
No
way. And a
Come
true
on.
story, 5 years ago, he fell asleep on the way to Dunmore. That's not a lot. There's a picture. John has a picture
of every
of
bus
Joe
ride.
sleeping.
Joe sleeping on the bus.
Dude,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
So I don't know if he's having Red Bulls in the afternoon or what he's doing,
So-
but I'm proud of him.
So Joe is the only human being where before kids he'd fall asleep at the snap of his finger. After kids, he's staying awake.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how much he fell asleep, actually, until we went and scouted a game down in Turbottsville, and Joe drove. And we got back, and I remember, seeing him and Sherry the next night, and she's like, "You let Joe drive to Turbottsville?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" They're like, he falls asleep every time So I didn't realize, but yeah, I mean, a lot of good Joe stories.
Pierce, can you kind of give us a little insight of what you're thinking or going to be saying to the girls tomorrow before the game?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we were kind of going back and forth. I mean, we're facing a good team here. They got a bunch of kids going to play college softball, and I think everybody, if you look at this on paper, I think it's easy to say, hey, these guys are big dogs here, but that's not what we think. And you may have, we've been having signs in the dugouts. I don't know if anybody is familiar. Burn the boats. That was kind of our theme once the playoffs started, kind of saying, there's no excuses, there's no tomorrow, there's no next year. We're going all in. We're doing what we have to do to win this. And we think for 90 minutes tomorrow, or however long it is, that if we play our game and play better than them, we're going to win. So, we're we don't feel we're an underdog. We feel that if we're on our game, we're going to win the game. So, I mean, and just our attitude right now, our kids, they 100% believe that, if we execute, this is ours. So, I just love where they're at. So we're just excited for it.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you. I know you have the biggest potential, the biggest game of your life tomorrow. I want to transition off to softball because I've been dying to ask you this.
God.
So you mentioned your other coaching ventures, right? You were a freshman football coach. I feel like it might have been the most epic staff ever. Do you have one good story from your days coaching freshman football with Kyle Chuff and Corey Mashura?
You're forgetting about Kevin.
and Kevin
Yeah.
Chuff. Sorry.
Remember when he ate the meatballs?
meatballs?
All right, how long do I have here? 'Cause I have a laundry list of stories.
Well, listen, as long as you want, bud. You're the man of the hour.
All right, I'm gonna give you 2 quick stories.
All
Okay,
right.
2 quick stories. They oh man.
This is, before you get started, this is how I met all these guys.
Yeah.
This was my introduction to Mid Valley.
Oh my God, I have more than 2. They're just popping into my head. Oh my gosh.
Which one do you
All
go
right,
with
one-
now?
Just a real quick one. Me and Coach Pizzalia sent me and Kyle to go scout the Honesdale game, and I was picking up Kyle. And I got there, I beeped the horn, and Kevin came out of the house and got in the car instead. And he said, Kyle has a date tonight. Yeah, I'm going with you instead. So that happened to me once. That's a true story. Me and Kevin scouted Honesdale.
How did Coach Pizzalia take that? Does he know that?
He doesn't know. I told him me and Chuff went. That's all I said.
You didn't lie to him.
I didn't lie.
Don't know if he's a listener, but he will know after this if he is.
Yes. Just one more quick Kevin story. He was talking. What was he talking about? His fitness. He's working out. I forget what it was,
I
but
remember this.
we made a bet with him that I think we were going to give him like $100 or something if every day after lunch during doubles he ran 1 mile. And I forget what time we gave him, but right after lunch, he had to go down to the track and run 1 mile, like within 10 minutes of lunch. So he did it the first day. He was good. So the second day he goes out, and we're in the field house. We pop back out and check on him. We look. We don't see him anywhere. We're like, wait, where'd Kevin go? We look close. He's laying on the track. He's down. Tom had to go out with the gator. I forget what he did, if he twisted his ankle or what he did, but it was
awesome.
day 2. He dropped out of the bed on day 2, but that was a really fun one.
That's awesome.
Pierce, remember when him and Rebar had the meatball eating challenge?
Oh man, yes. These were some of the best years coaching freshman football, I'll tell you that.
Was.
But our best was we lost we won 1 championship in freshman football, and we were going for a second, and somebody was our quarterback was injured, and just that day he got sick. He had to leave school, and we had to. I guess it was our fault there. We should have prepped a backup quarterback. We didn't really do a good job of that. But we had to start someone else in the last game of the year. And Kyle will never let me live this down, but we called a 24 blast, and the kid turned the wrong way, and the handoff wasn't there. So he just chucked it up. He turned the run play. He just fired it up, and he threw an interception on a 24 blast. So he came in, he goes, well, I missed the handoff. I figured I'd just throw it. And we lost that championship 6-0. Yeah, so.
That one's too. Who was it?
Is that the one where Chuff tells you my defense did did its job?
Yeah.
It was Chris Rebar, wasn't it?
No,
No,
Rebar was
it
past
was
him.
I
it Ethan?
I forget his name. He had a nickname. He was like Vegas. So he was
Vegas.
he was only here for like a year or two as a kid, and he was the backup quarterback, but he didn't get any time until the championship game there. So again, that was on us there, not getting that guy. But the 24 blast interception was that was a low point for me there as an offensive coordinator. I think I retired after that year, actually.
So you've gone from 24 blast interception,
Yes.
to a state title appearance tomorrow.
What a
Yeah.
turnaround.
What a turnaround. They're going to write books about this.
I was in the wrong sport.
Can't wait to
turns
see
out.
this
I was
30
in the
for
wrong
30.
sport.
Yeah, 30 for 30.
Can't
oh
wait.
my God.
Wow.
I do have some questions. So when I was driving down the access road yesterday, and you made me stop to get that headshot for this appearance, and I posted it on our social media. I'm like, I asked some questions just in case he comes on the show, so I picked out.
Yeah.
There are two good ones.
Good.
That I definitely want to ask from Colleen Ross. I really want to know how he got picked for the Marywood commercial. Now I've heard about this Marywood commercial from Kyle.
It's a great commercial.
Told me I need to see it. Could never find it. Like we've looked for it on trips down to travel baseball tournaments. Have never found it. But apparently it was a good performance by you. How did you get picked? Colleen Ross would like to know.
Well, Steve, I have actually great news for you, and it involves Kevin Chuff. It involves Kevin Chuff again. So I'm getting tons of texts, like saying, hey, great job, good luck. I got a text yesterday morning from Kevin, and I was like, oh, he's probably saying good luck. He sent me the link to the commercial. I've been looking for this for years.
No way.
Yeah, so I will forward that to you after this.
Okay.
Oh,
Will. Yes.
Such a link.
That's a real doozy, that commercial. That's funny. But
I'm gonna clip it in the end of this YouTube video, this YouTube podcast. I'm gonna put it at the end for sure.
And just so when you do put it at the end, I want to let you know that there wasn't much acting, but it took about 7 takes for me to get the last part right. And all I had to do was shake my head. Which you see, it shouldn't have took 7 attempts, but it literally did. But yeah, they were just looking for a student athlete to do this.
They couldn't
and
pick
I
anybody
think I was
else?
just. Well, Matt, I think they were thinking, geez, handsome, well built. I mean, this guy had a great head of hair back then too, Matt. So I think I was just a shoe in there. So yeah. So I was sitting in like the rec hall there, and some forget who came up to me, but that was it. But I will forward that to you. It's
absolutely
it's well worth the 30 seconds.
Oh, I would appreciate that very much. And then from one Mr. Jack Kelly.
Ooh.
Goes, ask Coach Piercy if he ever finished the book I gave him last year or if he's going to resume his reading this year at the beach. Sounds like a no to me.
That sounds like a big no.
Jack. Well, I think he moved away, and I chalked it up as he'll forget about this. I won't have to cross that bridge. Maybe so.
No,
I'm gonna just go with no on that. I'm gonna go with no.
Say no. Yeah, no.
He's not in town, is he?
No, I don't. Okay, so no. Will you be finishing at the beach this year?
What's that?
Will you be finished reading this book at the beach? Will you read it at the beach? That was the second part of the question.
That was, you know what? I think I did read it. Actually, it might have been Mindset. If it was Mindset, he recommended a. No, you know what he did? It was I did read it. He recommended Mindset, and that's a pretty good book there. And then it's about having a growth mindset. Then there was I forget. It's by John Cotter, but I think I read them both. Okay. One took me a lot longer than the other, but I think I read them both.
All right. All right. Well, listen, we know you probably won't be sleeping tonight.
Yeah.
But we'll let you go. We appreciate the fact that you saved.
I can't believe you answered the phone call. I still can't get over that.
Listen, I built this up pretty big, so I am very glad you did. I've already been burnt once this year, so on the podcast front. So very glad that you answered the phone. One last question, quick one for me. Is there any chance that you have a 2 a.m. Scouting text with Coach Schultz tonight, like you did before the last game, or?
I will probably be up, so if anybody texts me, I will respond. Yeah, it's going to be a late one tonight. Pretty fired up. So, yeah, you never know. It's quite possible, Steve. It's quite possible for sure.
All right. Well, Pierce, good luck. We'll be rooting for you.
Best of luck, Pierce.
I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate your time, and
we appreciate your time.
No, absolutely, and I'm going to send that clip over as soon as we get off here, all right?
Appreciate it. And maybe next week, maybe we can book you for live in person if you win it. I don't know. I'm gonna shoot out another request.
He's gonna have a lot of appearance requests if he wins this game tomorrow.
Yeah, and who better to come than to come dress up like you're at the beach and come on your deck and do this.
definitely.
Listen, if we take care of business, count me in. All right.
Perfect. You guys heard it here first.
I'll see
Holding you to it.
I'll see you on the bus in the morning.
Bright and early. Have a good night, guys.
Hey,
You
good
too,
luck.
bud.
See you,
Good
Pierce.
luck. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks. See you guys.
Bye.
That was awesome.
What a great
That was-
personality, man.
That was only like a 35-minute phone call. Felt like just an hour of straight laughing. Like he was
My
fantastic.
side's all cramped
my
up.
face is like hurt.
Started to
from
bother
smiling
my
so
back
much.
a little bit from laughing so much. Tightening up the cord is bothering me. But that was awesome. I feel like no one deserves it more than that individual.
He puts his time in, man. He really does. He's gotten to. It's been an absolute pleasure to kind of see him go through.
You've
Ups
seen
and
him from the
downs.
start.
Yeah,
You've seen him from freshman football to this. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I met Piercy, Chuff, Kyle Chuff, Kevin Chuff, Scholt. Lip was on that first staff my first year here at Mid Valley, and and then Mike took over the softball program, and as he said, I think it was either his first year, maybe second year. Don had an interest in helping out and started out as a volunteer, and then they got along, and she's been there since. And but just to see through the years to get to this point now, it's not been easy. There's been certainly plenty of conversations privately on, are we making the right decisions? Are we, is what he's doing, bouncing back and forth with each other and kind of, trying to get it right, and like he said, he's got talented kids, and he in the last few years, he's really had a great group of kids come through, to certainly help. But the like he said, the culture was set, and he stuck to what he wanted to do, and it wasn't anything. Some people are very pig-headed and set in their ways, and he's not. But he does have his core principles that he's not budging on. He's certainly willing to work
Adapt
with kids and help kids, and but at the same time, there's a goal, and the goal is to get to the spot you're in when the sun comes up tomorrow morning.
Right.
And it's mind blowing to think about. And I said if they win this game, Troop Alpha and Dixon are burning down.
Yeah, burn the boats,
Tomorrow
burn the
night.
towns, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But
there's going to be a party every weekend.
Yeah.
And
Till next season, basically.
And I'm telling you, so when I started coaching, it was like 2015. So that was pretty much right, I think, when he was making the turn with softball. And I think that was Kropp couldn't have been the head coach for it had to be his second year, third year, something like that. 2015 when we won the league.
It was close because I know Pierce. I think Pierce got the job the year before I was the AD. Kropp might have been hired. Kropp was one of my first hires.
Well, yeah, because Kropp was so Baraksa, when we talked about him when he broke his forearm, he was a sophomore. That was still Punky.
Right.
Yeah.
That might have been Punky's. That was Punky's last year.
So my first year was out, so it was Kropp's second year, and I'll never forget just being in the gym. Either we're in the other gym and Piercy was in the high school gym or vice versa. We would just go over and talk to him, and he would talk about how tough the first couple years were, just building the culture, and that was when he was starting to make the turn.
Yeah.
And he's like, that was the biggest thing. He's like, the softball program wasn't thought of. Wasn't thought of real highly when he took over, and he had to, kind of break that stigma, and this is what we're going to do, and I needed to get kids to buy in, and now they're starting to buy in, and we're starting to have success, and, that was the big thing that he used to tell, Kropp, myself, and it was, and now to see him here, it was, awesome, because he just kept building on it, and like you said, you got to get the right kids to come through, but at this point, it's bought in, I feel like once you get that culture, you don't have to keep saying it. Like,
No, right.
The kids are like, no, this is how we do things here.
The culture and the momentum have grown so to a point where, you could almost even take a less talented team and make a heck of a run simply on belief and just thinking there's no way we're going to lose this game today.
Right.
You know what I mean? And having that mindset. But that's one of the things, you touched on Mike's staff, where they're all in on the varsity level. Like, it's like a football staff.
They all have their aspects. Like they're
Dennis has the outfield, and this one's catcher, and all
this
that
one's
kind
pitcher.
of stuff.
This one's doing right.
And so he delegates very well. They're all very accountable,
and they understand the chain of command.
Right, and they've been again. It goes back to consistency. They've been around. There's always shakeup. You're not going to keep one high school staff in any sport,
right?
For 10 years. It doesn't happen. But they've had that, like, between my wife and Joe, like you said, they've been there with Piercy almost from the beginning. And Dennis has been on for a couple of years, but he's staying. And then now you get an addition of Sarah, and seeing, especially when you have a staff like that, it's, everybody thinks, if I end up hiring Hooper as the next girls basketball coach, right? When he comes in, he's got to have his staff ready.
Right.
It's not going to happen. You're going to lose people every year. And to me, if you could bring in one person a year, and you might have a staff of 6. It's going to take 6 years to really get, and then you're going to have one of those guys drop off, and you're going to have to pick somebody up, and that's what you're seeing with Mike, where he had that core. You pick up Dennis, he hangs around. Kyle, like you said, Kyle was there. He took off for a little bit. He comes back. Now you add Sarah. And Sarah's one that I add to my list of when we competed against her.
Right.
All throughout my life, I could go through a number since I'm a kid where I hated that person.
Yes. Like,
no way I could ever get along with that person because I can't stand how they act. I can't stand how they carry themselves. I can't, but it's in competition. And now when you get to
see them outside of that
together, you're on their team now, and it's like you're one of us.
Yeah, right.
And that's been a huge asset to Mike and to the staff because you guys both know coaching girls sports, for some time and things like that. It's a different, it's tough for a guy to coach girls.
You can't relate.
And he's got the perfect blend of, my wife is there and, obviously I've got a bias, but she does a really great job with those kids that she's able to have relationships with them, be approachable,
coach them up still.
Yeah, Piercy and those guys get on him a little bit. Listen, this is what he's trying to get across to you.
Right.
And now you add Sarah to it to have a second female around.
Right. That's huge.
And then when you go back to the other point was Pierce and Crope have a great relationship.
Yeah.
Between that baseball, softball.
Right.
They're different games, sure. But
they're similar.
All in all, principles are principles are the same, and they're able to go back and forth. Like, hey, the situation came up first and third. What are you doing? I can't tell you how many times I've seen that conversation occur between the two of them, and and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And real quick, I feel like this is a good way to end it. People don't want to. I mean, that was the main event there. People don't want to hear us continue to talk, but I want to give a shout out to Lukowski. Right, I'm leaving the game the other day. We talked about it on the broadcast about they have players in their junior high program like Coach Lukowski. Great job down there. Like, he's calling me. Like, I'm leaving Marywood. He's calling me. He's like, let's go. He's like, that was awesome. You gave me a shout out. And I'm like, like, yeah, let's go. And he's like, I got a bus going down. Let me know if you want. And I'm like, he was so fired up for it.
Kyle's probably down at Penn State now, and he's not coming back till Monday.
He's been down there since Wednesday, I would imagine. Jeez, been down there since yesterday. But hey, I mean.
But he's another one, man. He's very, very good with. He's great with the kids, but he's also tough on the kids, you know. And he's passionate, man. Like he's all in when he's there, and that's the thing I respect about Kyle is that when he knew he couldn't give his
100%,
all in,
right.
he stepped away for a little bit. You know, now that he's back. You're not getting half-assed by Kyle.
Right.
You know, now that he's here. You know.
And that's what I like about him, because I'd probably be the same way. It's either I could do it 100% or I can't.
Right.
Like I can't do 75.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But hey, we wish them nothing but the best of luck tomorrow.
Absolutely. Best of luck.
Bring that state title home. Music's already playing. Episode 17, I think.
It's officially Philly season for me, boys.
Philly season.
It's officially baseball season for me.
He's a Philadelphia fan.
That's counting down the days till the Eagles start. When's training camp start?
Pretty soon.
All right. Hey, for Tom, Matt, Steve.
It was a
Been a
pleasure.
pleasure.
See you. Go Spartanettes.